Greetings folks, and I hope you have a licence for that minky wherever you are in collecting land, and welcome back to the channel for another episode of Grail or Fail. For the uninitiated, Grail or Fail is where we revisit a figure widely considered to be a classic and find out if it's still worthy of that Grail status today. So going under the magnifying glass today, it's Kaustic Plastik's take on the legend that is Peter Sellers as Inspector Jacques Clouseau from the Blake Edwards directed Pink Panther movies. Usual format folks, we will get up close and personal with the incompetent inspector, then it will be verdict time, and then we'll be wrapping the whole thing up with the usual showcase at the end. But before we dive in, I'd like to send a sûreté-sized shout out to everyone who supported the channel. And please drop a like on this video as it helps other people find Go Figure, and also you'll be making a aging collector very happy as well. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you don't miss any of the 1/6 scale news, views and reviews that we've got coming up. And trust me, there's a hell of a lot of it. So enough of my Panther ponderings, let's dive in and find out whether Inspector Clouseau is a Grail or a Fail. Okay folks, so let's get up close and personal with the Sûreté's finest and find out if he's a Grail or a Fail. And I'm going to give my hand away early on this one because there's something we need to talk about. So there's an issue here. That's what you're looking at right now. It's the overcoat. This overcoat, really, it's been the bane of my life. It's probably the worst thing about this figure. As I say, I'm showing my cards early here. The tailoring is very good, the colour is right, the stitch work is very, very good, and overall it's an excellent the 6 scale overcoat, but it's just the wrong size. It is completely the wrong size. It does not fit very well, as you can see. It should be lower in the leg there. It should come down to almost to his knees, and it doesn't. Looks more like a skirt. It's too tight around the waist area there, causing it to ruffle up when you tighten the belt up. The shoulders are all off because of the tightness. Too tight on the shoulders, so you end up with this creasing on the shoulders here. Too tight in the arms, so bending the arms is a nightmare because there's too much material getting caught in the joints there. And these tightening straps, which are Velcro attached on either side of the figure itself, the Velcro is not very good and doesn't want to hold up and just comes away way too easily. So yeah, the actual signature overcoat for Clouseau, and it's a shame here, is not as good as it should be. So I think what we should do is take the offending item off. Okay, so offending overcoat off, and trust me, it's a hell of a lot easier getting it off than it is putting it on. It's a bit of a nightmare, that overcoat, but let's have the once-over with Inspector Clouseau. Let's start with that Kaustic Plastik base, and it's the usual story from Kaustic Plastik here with that hollow plastic base with that nameplate on the front that says Peter Sellers. You've got that sticker on the top to replicate a cobble street, magnetically attaches to the feet, and very sturdy. And very good they are too, the Kaustic Plastik's magnetic stands. Those shoes, very nicely done, super shiny, super high gloss, in keeping with the films and the character. Real laces in there and some very nicely sculpted in details on those shoes as well. Proportions now, I think the proportions are pretty much nailed on here by Kaustic Plastik. I think they've got them just about right. The outfits themselves come from a variety of different films, so placing this one into one specific Pink Panther movie is a little bit difficult, and Peter Sellers did put some timber on. These films span quite a number of years, but I think overall they've got the proportions right there. Let's take a look at this suit. Now, you know me and my 6 scale suit thing. I'm not going to keep banging on about how it's the hardest thing in the world to do. We already know this. But Kaustic Plastik have given us a very nice suit indeed. The colour looks pretty much on point to me. I'm thinking this is a black, although sometimes under certain light conditions it does come off as a dark blue. But on the whole, no, we're looking at a black suit, and it's very, very nicely done. The material itself feels of a super high quality, really nice, and the stitch work from Kaustic Plastik here is on point as well. There are no loose threads hanging down. The seams are all perfectly stitched, and the perfect scale as well. We'll whiz him round the back so we can take a look here at the stitch work. Dust magnet, obviously, dust and hair magnet, as most black suits, so watch out for that. But yeah, stitch work looking very good. That vent in the back there, and a little hair on his shoulder there, they're creeping all over the place, but yeah, really nicely done. This suit might look a little off at the moment, and that's because he's had that hideous overcoat on for a while in the display. And what it tends to do is, because you have to fasten it so tight, because the thing is just so ridiculously tight all over, what it tends to do is sort of deform the suit a little bit. It does fall out after a while once you've taken that overcoat off, so if there are any lumps and bumps in there, trust me, that isn't down to poor tailoring on Kaustic Plastik's part. That is simply down to that horrendous overcoat. But yeah, stitch work really, really nice. That shirt, very well done. The tie does tend to fall down a touch and needs a little bit of futzing up. It's not exactly the same material that we see with a lot of the ties these days, which is where the material itself has been coated to give it that rigidity. This one is a little bit more in keeping with a real tie, so can take some futzing back up just to cover that top button. But yeah, that's not a real problem. But so proportionally, yeah, excellent. That suit, very, very good. Before we take a look at the head sculpt, let's talk about the accessories. He's holding one here. He's holding the berm, and he's holding his magnifying glass. And that's not all you get. You get a raft of stuff with this figure. Let's take a quick look at the hands. You get a wide variety of hands going on, and they are up to the usual high standards of Kaustic Plastik here. You've got gripping hands and gesturing hands, which are really good for this character, because it is all about the hand gestures and the eyes with this one to capture that Clouseau feel. But not only do you get a raft of ungloved hands, you get a raft of gloved hands as well. There are two on the figure at the moment, but yeah, as you can see, the sculpt, the paint applications on those gloved hands is really good to give it that material type look. The shading on there, really can't fault any of the hands here. It's up to the usual high standards. You also get his gendarme outfit, or at least part of his gendarme outfit. You get the jacket for that outfit. Because the two materials match, there's no reason to put in an extra pair of pants. It's simply a case of taking this jacket off and popping this one on. And very, very nicely tailored it is too. Lined, got that black lining in there. Stitch work is excellent. Button work is really good. Snaps on the front there, the same as the overcoat and the suit jacket. You've got the badge on the lapel there, which is, and if I can get the camera to focus, beautifully detailed and painted. You've got the flashes on the lapels there, and it feels sturdy and of a good quality, this jacket. So yeah, that's the jacket, and it also comes with a spare tie as well if you're wanting to swap out the tie. Now I tend to stick with one tie simply because swapping out the ties is an utter ball ache. It really is. I mean, this one I think is more designed for this particular look, for just the straight suit look and the overcoat look, whereas the black one is more in keeping with the gendarme outfit. But you know, I don't think I'm not that anal that it has to be that spot on in the display, because this will drive you bonkers trying to change. What else do you get? You get his gendarme baton, sculpted plastic, very nice. There's a hand for gripping that. You get his ID, which is really nicely done. I think, I'm pretty certain this is plastic. I don't think it's leather, although it feels like leather. But it's got his ID in there. You've even got some swap out photos if you're wanting to swap the photo out in the ID as well. There's a couple of spare photos. You get his gun. You get swap out hats, you get the spare swap out head sculpt, and that horrendous overcoat as well. And a watch. You even get a sculpted plastic watch there, very nicely done. The hats themselves, now doing this with one hand is not going to be the easiest thing. Let's take a quick look at the swap out head sculpt. This is the surprise look with one eye bigger than the other and off to one side. I really like this one. Probably more in keeping actually with this particular look, because if you position it right with that magnifying glass, and you can get this eye right behind it in the display, so when you look straight on in the display, it magnifies that eye and it looks super comical. Just a look you can go for if you want to. This head sculpt is probably more designed for use with the gendarme outfit, to be honest with you, because I'm going to try and do this with one hand. There is a removable hair piece here. It's magnetically attached, and I am struggling with one hand, so just bear with me. Yeah, let's pull that off. And what you are left with is a very unusual looking balding Sellers. A slight mark on there. I think that's been caused by some rubbing from the hairpiece. But yeah, there's a magnet on there, and you can attach either of the other hats. Now, both of these hats are sculpted plastic, as is the hat on the other head sculpt, which doesn't come off. That stays on. This one is very nicely done with the band around it, and you simply pop it on top there. And I'll try and do this on camera. There you go. And so you can have either of the two looks. Let's just flip this hat off again and go for the gendarme look. And if you wanted to see the gendarme look in more detail, we will take a look at him in full alternate garb in the showcase at the end. That look works for me. It really, really does. Pop on the gendarme coat. Yeah, you've got two completely different looks here. So often you see looks with figures where you swap out the head sculpt and there's not that much change. The outfit stays the same, maybe the expression changes, but this one, with the swap out outfits and the swap out head sculpt, really, it's almost worth buying two of these just to have them displayed side by side. So yeah, that's the swap out head sculpt. So back to the figure itself. I think the main head sculpt, superbly well done. Paint applications are absolutely spot on. There isn't an angle here where that isn't Sellers and that isn't Clouseau. I think Kaustic Plastik have absolutely nailed it here with the head sculpt. The moustache, beautifully painted. The eyes are nice and glassy. Those slight bags under the eyes. The skin tones are spot on. If you get right in there, you can see the texturing and the tonal changes. Hair, really, really well done, what is visible of it. And overall, yeah, a phenomenal head sculpt. And that's reflected in this one as well. I think the same level of sculpt and paint applications and details make it an outstanding head sculpt. So that's Clouseau, but it's verdict time, I suppose, folks. So let the judges go out, come back in and find out whether this piece is a Grail or a fail. So, verdict time on everyone's favourite policeman, Inspector Clouseau. Oh, where to begin on this guy? Good points, and pretty much everything is a good point with this particular figure. The head sculpt's absolutely on point. Can't be faulted. Really, really can't be faulted. Both of them are excellent. The accessories, absolutely on point. The variety, the paint applications, the sculpt, all nailed on. The base is the usual high standard of Kaustic Plastik magnetic base. The tailoring on the suit, really, really good, impeccable in fact. And as I mentioned before, if you're seeing any slight bunching, particularly around the back here, that's where the belt of the overcoat had been, and that will fall out, might even need an iron. The body, the proportions, absolutely on point. Articulation, excellent. The quality of the body, very, very good. No jankiness whatsoever. The tailoring of the shirt and so on. All the accessories. The swap-out gendarme outfit is really the icing on the cake with that head sculpt. The magnetically attached hairpiece that is removable, so you can put the other hats on. And as I mentioned before, you know, I've been tempted to pick up another iteration of this just so I can have both versions in the display. I think they are both that good. Downsides. There's only one real downside for me with this piece, and that's the overcoat. And it really does let this figure down. It is overall it is very, very well done. The stitch work is good and everything else, and the colour and so on. It's just the proportions are completely off. I am not sure how that crept through QC checks at Kaustic Plastik, but yeah, it really is. It's the fly in the ointment of what really is, other than that, an absolutely amazing figure. I think if you're a fan of Sellers, the legend that is Peter Sellers, if you're a fan of the Clouseau films, which I am, I grew up on these things and they still make me laugh today. Mrs. Schofinger can't walk past this figure without it putting a huge smile on her face. I think it is absolutely essential for any Sellers and Clouseau fan. Is it a Grail? Well, I think that pretty much speaks for itself. Absolutely, 100% nailed on Grail. It's Kaustic Plastik flexing and doing what they do best. It's got a few years on it now, this figure, but I still think it stands up. I still think it's an amazing piece, and for me, 100% Grail, bar that ridiculous overcoat. So there you have it, folks. That's Kaustic Plastik's take on Peter Sellers. What's your take on this figure? What's your take on Kaustic Plastik? What's your take on Clouseau, Sellers, or anything else for that matter? Please drop a comment in the comment section below. I would be fascinated to hear your take on this. What's coming up on the channel? Well, we've got boatload more Grail or Fails coming up. We've got showcases, we've got previews, we have a raft of new figure reviews coming up, including stuff from Hot Toys, InArt, Iconic Studios, Kaustic Plastik, Susu Toys, Present Toys, X06, the list goes on. So as I mentioned at the top there, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you're not missing any of the good stuff when it comes up on the channel. And I suppose all that remains for me to say is a massive thank you for watching, as always. Take care of yourselves, happy collecting, and it's over to the showcase.